In the fast-changing world of the 1960s auto industry, one man had a vision that would redefine American muscle cars forever: Lee Iacocca. As an ambitious U.S. auto industry executive, Iacocca set out to create a car that wasn't just powerful, but also stylish, affordable, and accessible to the booming youth market. Enter the Ford Mustang, a sleek, game-changing pony car that debuted on April 17, 1964, to overwhelming demand. Ford expected to sell 100,000 in its first year, but blew past expectations, moving 22,000 Mustangs on day one alone. Designed by Gail Halderman and refined under Iacocca's leadership, the Mustang ignited a cultural phenomenon, sparking what enthusiasts call Mustang madness. From classic Shelby variants to today's Mustang resto mod scene, this legendary muscle car remains an icon. But how did Iacocca turn his bold dream into reality? Let's find out. Lee Iacocca's story is one of grit, ambition, and an unwavering belief in innovation. Born to Italian immigrants in Allentown, Pennsylvania, he grew up in the heart of America's Rust Belt, where cars were more than just machines, they were a way of life. From a young age, he was fascinated by the history of cars and dreamed of making his mark on the auto industry. After earning a degree in industrial engineering from Lehigh University, he joined Ford in 1946 as an engineer. But it didn't take long for him to realize that his real talent lay elsewhere. Instead of working under the hood, he had a natural gift for understanding what people wanted in a car, and more importantly, how to sell it to them. He quickly transitioned to Ford's sales and marketing department, where he made a name for himself with bold, successful campaigns. By the 1950s, Iacocca had already proved he was no ordinary U.S. auto industry executive. His biggest breakthrough came in 1956, when he introduced an innovative loan program that allowed customers to buy new cars with low monthly payments. It was a game-changer, boosting Ford's sales and catapulting Iacocca up the corporate ladder. His ability to connect with consumers and predict market trends set him apart, and by 1960, he had climbed to the position of vice president and general manager of the Ford division. With this promotion came a new challenge, finding a way to shake off Ford's recent failures, including the disastrous Edsel, and develop a car that would captivate a new generation of buyers. The early 1960s saw a shift in American culture. The baby boomer generation was growing up, and they wanted something different from the bulky sedans of their parents. Iacocca recognized this and set out to create a stylish, affordable, and fun-to-drive car that would appeal to young drivers. He formed a secret team of product planners known as the Fairlane Committee to brainstorm ideas for what would eventually become the Ford Mustang. The concept was simple: a lightweight pony car with a sleek design, a powerful engine, and a price tag that wouldn't break the bank. It must be known that when Lee Iacocca set out to create the Ford Mustang, he had an ambitious vision but a tight budget, less than $50 million, which was unprecedented for such a groundbreaking project. Despite these limitations, Iacocca and his team pushed forward, determined to design a car that would not only appeal to young buyers, but also stand out in the history of cars. One of the most influential designers in this process was Gail Halderman. Tasked with sketching potential ideas, Halderman brought in several drawings, one of which caught the attention of Ford's top brass. This side profile sketch became the foundation for the clay model that would eventually shape the history of the Mustang. But back then, it wasn't called the Mustang, it was the Cougar. That's right, the legendary pony car almost had a prowling cat on its grille instead of the iconic galloping horse. The design process wasn't smooth sailing. The first clay model, led by designer Dave Ash, was rejected for being too blockish and uninspiring. That's when studio head Joe Oros stepped in and ordered a complete redesign. Halderman's sketch was brought back to life, and a new team, including Ash, Halderman, and John Foster, spent 3 intense days shaping the second clay model. This version had the sleek, athletic stance Ford was looking for, and it quickly became the winning design. Of course, a great car needs a great name. While various names were tossed around, it was Ford stylist John Najjar who first suggested Mustang, inspired by the World War II P-51 Mustang fighter plane. The name stuck, not because of the aircraft, but because it captured the essence of freedom, power, and speed. And so, the Ford Mustang was born, complete with its now iconic running horse emblem, replacing the original Cougar badge. Inside, the sporty 2+2 cabin was shaped by John Foster and chief interior designer Damon Woods, ensuring the Mustang wasn't just good-looking, but also comfortable and driver-friendly. But after extensive discussions, they decided the Mustang needed to be a 4-seater, moving away from the early 2-seater prototypes from 1962. This decision made the car more practical for everyday use while maintaining its sporty appeal. They also insisted on a long hood and a short rear deck, reinforcing the image of a powerful pony car built for speed. These elements became defining characteristics of the history of the Mustang, setting the tone for generations of models to come. But designing the car was only half the battle. A natural-born marketeer, Iacocca knew the Ford Mustang needed a high-profile launch. He orchestrated its debut at the New York World's Fair on April 17, 1964, a strategic move that ensured massive media coverage. Unlike competitors who introduced their cars alongside others at standard auto shows, Iacocca made sure the Mustang had the stage all to itself. It worked. Within 24 hours, 22,000 Mustangs were sold, and by the end of the first year, over 415,000 units had hit the road, igniting what would become known as Mustang Madness. The impact of the history of the Ford Mustang extended far beyond Ford's expectations. The car's immense popularity cemented Iacocca's reputation as a visionary U.S. auto industry executive. He became a household name, even gracing the covers of both Newsweek and Time magazine. As sales skyrocketed, Ford quickly expanded the Mustang lineup, leading to legendary variants like the Mustang GT, the high-performance Mustang GT 350, and later the Shelby Cobra, with Carroll Shelby fine-tuning the car's racing capabilities. The success of the Ford Mustang didn't just change the automotive industry, it also transformed the careers of those behind it. Meanwhile, Lee Iacocca, the driving force behind the project, climbed the corporate ladder quickly, becoming vice president of the Car and Truck Group in 1965 and eventually Ford's president in 1970. Gail Halderman, the designer behind the Mustang's now iconic look, didn't stop at the coupe. Shortly after its debut, he designed the Mustang Fastback, a 1965 model that became one of the most recognizable versions of the Mustang muscle car. Despite his major contributions to the history of the Mustang, Halderman remained humble, letting others take the spotlight. He continued shaping Ford's lineup until his retirement in 1994. The Mustang's debut didn't just shake up Ford, it reshaped the industry. Iacocca, always one step ahead, believed competition would keep the Mustang fresh, so he encouraged more teams within Ford to push the envelope. This led to the creation of new design studios, including the one led by Ash. Meanwhile, Ford's competitors scrambled to catch up. General Motors and Chrysler took a few years to develop their own Mustang rivals. But when they did, the legendary pony car segment was born. This cemented Lee Iacocca's name in the world of automobiles. Now, if you're enjoying this video on how Lee Iacocca revolutionized the auto industry with the Ford Mustang, hit that subscribe button and leave a like. You won't want to miss any future videos covering Iacocca's masterpieces and how they continued to shape the world of classic and muscle cars. This invention was indeed Lee Iacocca's road to stardom. From how he transformed the Ford Mustang from a daring idea into one of the most iconic American muscle cars of all time, to his marketing genius and a deep understanding of what young drivers wanted. He made sure to revolutionize Ford's lineup, and in doing so, left an indelible mark on the history of the Ford Mustang and the automotive industry as a whole. The history of Mustangs wasn't just written on the roads, it also found a place in Hollywood. The Ford Mustang made its silver screen debut just 5 months after its launch, appearing in Goldfinger, where a first-generation Mustang convertible was showcased in a thrilling James Bond chase scene. Iacocca's influence didn't stop with the original Mustang. He continued to push for innovation, overseeing the development of legendary trims like the Mustang GT and performance variants such as the Mustang GT 350, which had input from Carroll Shelby himself. These high-performance models further solidified the Mustang's reputation as a pony car built for speed and excitement. Despite his undeniable success, Iacocca's time at Ford came to an end in the late 1970s when he parted ways with Henry Ford II. However, his contributions to car history didn't stop there. He went on to lead Chrysler, where he was instrumental in saving the struggling automaker from financial collapse. His leadership and vision extended beyond just the Mustang, proving that he was one of the greatest minds in automotive history. Today, the Mustang is in its 6th generation, and whether it's a pristine classic, a powerful Mustang resto mod, or a sleek resto mods Mustang, its legacy remains as strong as ever. Iacocca's vision of a stylish, affordable sports car has stood the test of time, influencing not just Ford, but the entire history of the Mustang and muscle cars in general. His dedication and innovation are why we still celebrate Mustang today, why enthusiasts continue to restore and modify these cars, and why the Mustang remains a symbol of American performance and freedom. In conclusion, the Ford Mustang is more than just a muscle car. It's a defining piece of car history that revolutionized the automotive world. Thanks to Lee Iacocca's vision and the dedication of designers like Gail Halderman, the Mustang became an icon, blending style, power, and affordability in a way that captivated millions. From its record-breaking debut to its legendary Hollywood appearances, the history of the Mustang continues to inspire enthusiasts worldwide. Whether it's a classic car, a Mustang GT350, or a Mustang resto mod, the legacy lives on. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Mustang, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.